everyone, and welcome back to our channel. This week we are going to be doing a build-up as Liverpool Women face Watford at Vicarage Road on Saturday. Big game for Liverpool Women coming up. Obviously, the defeat last weekend wasn't the best, wasn't ideal. Going into a new weekend, the big game against Watford, their first home game of the season as well, which is important to point out, I think. Must-win game for us. What's your thoughts going into this weekend's fixture?
Kind of what you've said, really. I think this is a massive game. We can't afford to lose 2 games on the bounce. Sorry, that's just not. It's not possible to do that. And if we do, there's something seriously wrong that's happened. I think it's a massive occasion. I mean, it's at Vicarage Road. It's cool that Watford have got their first 3 home games at Vicarage Road. I think we've seen a bit of a trend this season with the amount of teams that are playing at the men's counterpart stadium. So hopefully Liverpool will do that. That would be fun. But yeah, this is a massive game. We really cannot afford to lose this game. It's actually a must win. Not purely because of Watford are a team specifically potentially even 2 leagues below us at the minute. Obviously only just getting promoted. We can't afford to lose that aspect, but then we also can't afford to lose because of the fact we lost against London City on the opening day. So yeah, it's a massive game.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Watford at the minute, because like you said, a team that we're playing in a different division to us. Obviously, I think founded in 13-14. This team, they've obviously been playing in a few different leagues. They were playing in the FA Women's Premier League, and then applied to be for licenses and stuff like that. The way women's football works, it's a load of faff that we still probably don't understand ourselves, that we just sort of go along with. The application for a license to compete in the newly formed Women's Super League 2 was accepted back in 2013. That season got underway in 2014 with the club finishing 7th. Obviously the years have gone on, and then the new makeup of the women's football periods, which happened in 2018. Unfortunately, Watford were put in the FA Women's National League following a few different applications to different leagues. So they were put in the National League rather than the Women's Championship, which is obviously what they play in now. And then obviously, a couple of seasons later, they found themselves in the Championship. I was really excited to see Watford in this league with us this season. I think it's nice to see a team like that who have got their male counterparts playing in the Premier League, in the big league for the men's team. I think it's really important that the men's team also have their women's side as well, and have the support from the fans there. And obviously, with them, like you said, playing at Vicarage Road a couple of times this season, that's clear that Watford now have a setup for their women's side that they want to focus on. So it's really exciting to see yet another male Premier League team having a women's team founded and playing in the top divisions, or the top 2 divisions, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's always exciting when you see both the men's team doing well and then obviously the women's team being in and around a good setup as well. It just shows there's a little bit of unity between both of them. I think you can see by the fact that quite a lot of these opening games or Watford's home games are being played at Vicarage Road, that there's obviously a lot of care in there and want to push the women's team and grow the women's team, because I was literally just thinking earlier, with obviously the WSL starting tonight, it's such an exciting season. I was looking at when all the fixtures are across this weekend and they're on Sky Sports main event, BBC One, it's there for the taking. And if you're not jumping on it now, you're missing an absolute chance to smash it. So it's good to see some of the teams are doing that, especially Leicester as well, another team who's going to be playing at the Leicester King Power Stadium majority of the season. So it's really cool to start I feel like there's that shift of these teams and the owners of the teams understanding and showing the care that's gone into it, of changing to using men's teams, using men's stadiums, and I think even in terms of mentally for the players, when you play at a massive stadium like that, you step up to the occasion. Like we saw at Anfield what happened when we didn't win that game, but the intensity of the game was so much higher. It felt more of like a spectacle. So I think it does alter the game when you play at these massive stadiums, and it alters it in such a good way. It just becomes so much more competitive, which is ultimately what you want.
Yeah, we had like a good discussion about that like on this week's podcast as well, didn't we? So if you haven't already seen that, go and check that out and get our full thoughts on that. But we'll circle back around to this weekend's game. I think for Liverpool, I think the starting 11 is an interesting one for me this weekend. We spoke briefly about this in the pod as well, but looking at last weekend's starting 11, I'll just quickly go through it. So we had Laws in goal, Wardlaw, Road, Matthews, Hines, Bailey, Keynes, Holland, Furness, Lawley and Leanne Kiernan up front. Is there anyone you'd sort of think is more likely to go into that starting 11, or do you think he's going to stick with the same side? What are you expecting?
I think Raza has to start, in my opinion. I think she has to. That intensity. I don't think Wardlaw had a bad game in any way, shape or form. I just think my gut's telling me Raza needs to start. The player that she is, the intensity that she brings to the match, to the team. I think she needs to. And the difference she made when she did come on, like pressing a little bit higher, getting the ball into the box a little bit quicker, linking up with Ash Hodgson when she came on. So I definitely think there's a shout for Raza to start.
Yeah.
I think maybe Rihanna Dean. I think when she came on, she was so lively, and it was a performance where that she's put in, and it's like, play me. I want to play. I want to start. I want to be in this team. I want to make the difference for the team. It was really it was aggressive and it was intense. So I think there's a shout for her as well. I don't think he'll change it too much.
No,
because like momentum and squad morale, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. I don't think it'll be changed excessively or extensively. But I think we should see Raza come in. I think I can't really pinpoint any other area really. There's always a bit of a debate because when you look at like the midfield, it's like it almost feels that sometimes that Bo and Fernie play the same role, but you want both of them in the team. So I think that in itself is a bit of a headache as well, because you've got so many other players that can play in those positions as well, like Carla Humphreys, Kerry Holland can slot in there sometimes. So it's interesting to know what he's going to go with.
Yeah, I think the first couple of games are always a trial period as well, finding your best 11, aren't they? And obviously you pick your team to play the team that you face that weekend, but there's obviously those players that you said, Keynes and Fairness, that you want in your squad week in, week out. They are the players that you want. But then also looking on our bench, we had Roberts, Farhi, Hodgson, Moore, Humphrey, Dean, who probably those 7 players are all, even if you put Riley Foster in goal, there's 8 players there that you can shift into that 11.
Yeah.
That you think, oh well, they can all do just as good as a job as the other ones as well. So it's probably a bit of a headache going into the games, because there's so many players you can choose from, and a lot of them do play the same position as well and offer the same. So yeah, I'd probably agree. I think maybe Roberts will come in, like you said. Rihanna Dean had a really good game. Maybe even Humphreys to come into the midfield as well.
Maybe, yeah.
She's one of the things that the manager highlighted when she signed was how good she was in like tight spaces and stuff. And I'm not like 100% sure how Watford play, but maybe that's another option that you can sort of go in, because I can imagine that Watford will be a really pressing team, because a lot of teams do press really well against us. So that might be another option.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know if you think the same, but I feel like teams really like step up when they come against us, like every single time, and it's how we sort of work that. And I don't think Watford are gonna push over at all. They gave Durham an absolute game at the weekend, managed to score against them. Obviously the result didn't go their way in the end, but they gave them a good game, and we know how tough Durham can be to play. So Watford aren't there for the walkover. They're here to play, and I think we need to remember that. We need to not be complacent with whoever we come up against, regardless whether they're new in the Championship or have just come down from the WSL. Like, we have to not underestimate anyone we come up against this league anymore, because it is tough. Like, every game is going to be tough, whether the players know that or not already. Like, it is. all of these teams have good quality and good potential, so we have to really sort of remember that. And like when you look at the Watford team, they have players which are recognisable. They've got Rosie Comito, obviously from West Ham a couple of seasons ago. Got Helen Ward, who's obviously Welsh international. That Flo Fife, who scored the goal against Durham at the weekend. So they have talent within that squad. It's just we need to know how to minimise their talent and maximise ours. That's where we need to sort of figure that out, I think. And that obviously comes from one time, but also the manager knowing exactly what his players are going to do and how he's going to do it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Well, yeah, I think we've covered everything there. I think we've got an exciting game on our hands. Yeah, a Saturday kick-off as well, which is very unusual.
Sorry, when was the last time we played on a Saturday? Because I have no idea.
So weird. We keep getting it mixed up. We're like, oh, Sunday and no Saturday. Like Saturday 2:00 kick-off, just a weird one for us. But it's nice. It'll probably make the weekend feel longer, which is always, yeah. But yes, obviously stay tuned tomorrow for some match reaction stuff. We're not sure whether the game's live.
I don't think it was on the FA Player. It wasn't live on the FA Player.
Hopefully, Liverpool last weekend did it on LFC TV and on YouTube as well. So hopefully that's the same for this weekend. We're not sure as of right now, but as soon as we do, we'll put it on Twitter and stuff like that. So keep an eye on the socials and whatnot, and then we'll have all our match stuff tomorrow. As much as we can, but yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below about this weekend's fixture. Any goal predictions, any score predictions, pop them in the comments. We're not going to do that this season because we're always wrong and we always embarrass ourselves, so we're not going to go there. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you all next time with a new video. Bye.